the last recipe that Michael and I are sharing with y'all that was served at our wedding reception. 500 people were there. Great time of day. I didn't even realize I knew 500 people. How about you?
Well, yeah, I knew it. I had that many fans.
Well, you were born here. So naturally, you would know more. All right. And this, I just heard so many good things about everything that we served. And living in the low country and the deep south, we had to have grits and we had to have shrimp, wild Georgia shrimp, which is what we were cooking today. So I'm going to quickly go through the steps with y'all on how to cook what I consider good grits. So it's always best to measure your grits. Now I'm going to cook 1 cup of grits, and I've got 2 cups of water and about a teaspoon of salt. So we're going to let that come to a boil. All right, so here we go. I always use quick grits. They can be ready in 5 minutes. I don't ever cook them for 5 minutes, so I cook them longer. But if I bought the long cooking grits and I didn't have the time, then I'm looking at 45 minutes. So I would rather use the quick cooking, and if I need them quick, they'll be ready. So, and I cook my grits I just do what my tongue feels like when I'm making my grits. It's very important that you have one of these. And when you're stirring in your grits, you want to stir, stir, stir. Make sure every one of those little pods of grits is wet, because it will stick and it will dry real quick. Now, I'm going by the directions for water equal grits, but that's going to change because I cook mine longer than 5 minutes. So I'll be adding, sometimes I add cream cheese. Sometimes I'll add sour cream. Sometimes I'll just add butter and cheese. Which is your favorite way?
I don't know. I just do it on the box. So that's why I think it's a good idea for you to tell people how you do it, because yours is much better.
Well, thank you. Let's see. What did I want to?
But I wouldn't give them options. I'd do it the way you do it.
Well, I do it several different ways.
What's your best one? What's your best one?
It just depends on what I'm serving
with sour cream.
I like it with cream cheese.
Okay.
I love it with cream cheese and butter.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I got to find some cream cheese. Your water is just beginning to boil. And I'm gonna stir in my grits. And I'm gonna stay with them and stir them, a couple of minutes. And, I put salt in the water. That is so important. Because if you go into a restaurant and they have not put salt in the water, it is so hard to get them salty. But it works real good if you'll just go ahead and salt that water. Real important. Okie dokie, and we're going to turn these down. And I have found the gas stove. It is hard to simmer grits. All right, I'm going to put a little butter. Not a whole bunch. Put in my cream cheese. And it's going to be so good. So you can see how these can be ready in 5 minutes. because if you cook them as long as I do, you're going to have to keep adding a liquid to it. So, my liquid, I think, is going to be a little tap and half. You know, and I could add more water, but, and I might wind up doing that, but right now I'm just gonna, because I want them creamy. So I'll just watch that, because they're already pretty thick. So I'll keep adjusting it. Michael, do you like spoon grits or fork grits?
Well, fork.
Fork. Okay, so when somebody down south asks you that, Michael just said he likes fork grits. So some people make them so thin you have to eat them with a spoon. But we do like fork grits.
What do you like?
I like fork grits, but creamy fork grits. I like a happy medium. We just gonna let these grits do their magic. Look how thick they are. That's way too thick. Way too thick. So I'm gonna be adding a little water along the way. And a little cream as we go. Now, these are wild Georgia shrimp that I'm using. Michael has a friend that's a shrimper. And he goes out. Does he go out every day, Michael?
Good.
Your shrimper buddy.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, these are wild Georgia shrimp. And if I was serving shrimp and grits in a bowl, I would probably leave the shrimp whole. But for this, I'm gonna chop them up and you'll understand why when you see how we served them. So I'm just gonna give these a rough chop. All right, our grits are there. They've probably been cooking like 30 minutes, don't you think?
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna start the goods. The goods is the bacon. I don't have any tasso, but I do have a little bit of smoked bacon, so it's not gonna hurt. We'll put a little bit of that in it.
Smoked ham.
Yeah, that's just regular smoked ham. And I need a little olive. Little olive.
Grapes.
Just a couple of tablespoons. So we're going to let that bacon sizzle around in there for a few minutes. Now, I'm not going to cook it till it's like hard. I like some flavor left in my bacon. And you want to take a look at the grits, Michael, and see what you think. Here is the stirrer. And while we got that lid off, I'm going to put some fresh ground black. Oh, that's salt. Okay, I think I got enough salt in it. Some fresh ground black pepper. All right, and your grits are going to get thicker and thicker as they sit. So I'm going to add.
Perfect.
I'm going to add a little bit more hot water.
Not much.
No, I'm not going to do much because we're going to have the juice from the shrimp. You know, that it's going to coat those grits.
Ready?
They look good, don't they?
Yeah.
Now you can just put the lid back on them, and here you can put your beater thing right down the butter. I think we could about cut those off and,
Cut it off?
yeah, that first one. Yeah, I think we could cut it off and because they're going to stay hot for a few minutes. All right, now we've got leeks, we've got a little bell pepper, we've got onion, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw the onion and the bell pepper in because it'll catch up with the bacon in just a minute. And you know, we did in the restaurant, we did these all to order. Because that's the way it's the best. It's looking pretty good, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So I'm going to go ahead and add the leeks. And we're using just the white part of the leeks.
It's like onion? Leeks?
Yeah, kind of. See if you can taste that. They don't have a whole bunch of taste, but they have some. What does that taste like to you?
Tastes like a leek.
This is looking very, very good. Now, shrimp won't take but just a minute. Now we're going to add a little white wine and kind of let that pan just deglaze. And if you don't have any white wine, don't worry about it.
Put beer in it.
Beer never hurt little shrimp and grits. Okay. Do you want to show everybody how we serve this at our reception? The glasses are right back there. There you go. So you see, that's why I chopped up our shrimp. All right, now, Michael, if you would dip up some grits in each of those and try to keep it off the rim of the glass. All right, now I'm going to add our shrimp. This spoon, oh gosh, turn it. This spoon's right here, Michael. See right there?
That's where you keep them?
Yeah. Yep, that's where we keep them. Oh, this is looking so good. I'm going to try to add a little bit more black pepper. I made us a salad the other night, and I picked it up and just started and Eddie had just filled it up, and I dumped the whole case on our salad.
Is that enough or not enough?
I would put just maybe another little scoop. Not too much, but just a little bit. Okay, our shrimp are turning pink. Now we're going to add our heavy cream. And let all those flavors come together. And let it thicken up. Now, if you don't have any of this base, you know, it's okay. A little chicken base wouldn't be bad in it. But I've got I got a lobster base. So I'm going to stick with the seafood. And you see I'm not putting much at all. No, it gives it flavor. Gives it a lobster flavor. Just a little bit. I wonder if I can get some more pepper. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, we did it. See it starting to thicken. And I've turned up the heat on it. Yum. All right, excuse me, just 1 second. It's pretty good. You know what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna sprinkle a little Old Bay in there. And that will kick up that shrimp. You want to? We don't like Old Bay either. Okay, we don't want to cook it too long because we don't want our shrimp to get too tough. So I'm going to turn that off. This is just how we served it at our reception, Michael. Yum. I'm going to add a little bit more cream because the recipe called for a cup. I think that looked like the biggest. So I'll give you the biggest. Now we have fork grits, but I prefer to eat mine with a spoon. If you're having a cocktail party, this is a great way. This is a great way to serve your hors d'oeuvres. And they probably got a smaller, no thank you, it's hot. They probably make a smaller martini glass, right, Eddie? So if it's appetizers or just heavy hors d'oeuvres.
It's delicious.
Is it? Good. I'm so glad you like it. That Old Bay
I love it.
just gave it a wonderful little kick. Oh my, the stem's even getting hot, y'all.
So good.
I'm telling you what. And like I said, on the other hot table, we had mashed potatoes with pot roast and gravy on top. The food was magnificent. My restaurant family was fantastic. They did it all perfectly. I got my own.
My favorite kind of martini.
Me too. Are you ready for martini? You are? Teresa, you ready for a martini?
I'm good right this moment.
Oh, good. We'll eat your share.
Delicious.
It is so good. And it's so easy to make, y'all. And if you don't live on the coast, you can steal in your grocery store. On occasion, if I'm in a tight, I'll buy frozen shrimp. Oh, they're good. You've never turned your nose up at anything of them. So don't let not having wild Georgia shrimp stop you from making this delicious dish, y'all. So love and best dishes and happy anniversary. Love and best dishes, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.